it's probably been going on for a while. Like while I've been listening on my phone, it just automatically switched my preferences to buyer pays for return, and I didn't notice. So I just been listing and listing, and I probably did like 400 listings with buyer pays return, and I prefer to do free returns. So I'm having to go in there and fix everything now.
Oh,
and the thing is, I didn't even notice it was happening until today. I was listening. I was like, "Why does it say buyer pays return?" Like, and then I was
why
like,
do you like buyer? Why do you prefer free returns?
It goes all the way back to when I went to the eBay Open and I talked to some people at eBay, and like, whether we like it or not, if eBay kind of pushes something, like they're pushing free returns, they're always pushing free returns, and it just helps you in the algorithm. Like an employee told me that, like, if eBay prefers you to do it, it helps you in the algorithm. And eBay wants to compete with Amazon and stuff as far as that kind of stuff, and Amazon obviously offers free returns. So it started there. That's what started it all. In that same scenario where someone's like fishing for a partial refund, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh no, I offer free returns. You can send it back and I'll give you all your money back. Well, I want some of the money back. No, I offer free returns. So if you just send it back, I'll give you all your money back. It's definitely a model for a business that's making, yeah, like you couldn't do it like part-time, someone that's not making a lot of money on eBay.
What about if you're doing it full time and not making a lot of money?
I think my recommendation to, let's say it was someone like you, my recommendation to you, I would say try it for 3 months and see if it improves your sales. And don't just say, oh, well, I got one return that I had to pay for that I was mad about. Look at like big picture, like, man, my sales went up 2,000 in 3 months, and I only had to deal with $40 in returns. So I from that standpoint, it was worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll tell you. Well, also I started recording, so we're starting episode 3 without Joe right now. Well, because you came in hot talking.
Let me move my microphone closer then.
Oh, we did that whole thing. You did the whole. Oh, that.
No, you can still hear me. It still hears fine.
Okay,
I just
good.
Now this is where I usually.
I mean, we're trying to be a professional podcast, but you came in. I instantly asked you a question, which, if we're going to record a podcast, it's probably not the best idea to start having a conversation about something that we're going to talk about in a reselling podcast.
Right, yeah.
But also, we probably should have all of our people that are involved in the podcast here. But did you play sports growing up and stuff?
Did I play sports?
Yeah, did you play sports?
I did not. I love sports. I played a lot of street sports. I didn't have the grades to play in school. It's actually one of my biggest, like, people don't have regrets. No, I regret not getting good grades and playing sports in school because I absolutely love sports.
Hey.
I played a lot of street basketball, pick up football at the park and stuff. And I have enough of my family members and friends that could tell you I was pretty dang good at sports, and I wish I would have played.
How bad were your grades?
All right, so I'm not afraid to say this. I didn't drop out till the 9th grade. But I didn't pass a single class from 7th to 9th grade.
Are you serious?
Not my proudest. Yeah, I was. There's a lot of talk of a product of the system, if you will. Yeah. I know it was mostly my fault, but how do you go from 7th to 8th grade without passing a class, right?
Right.
I still did. And then how do you go from 8th to 9th grade without passing a class? Well, I still did. And then in 9th grade, they were like, you can drop out. And I was like, all right, deuces.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, so I'm an uneducated man. That's why I kind of like, when I have a conversation with someone that's really educated, I'm intimidated. Like because I don't use big words. That's why, we joke. I don't use big words. Math is probably my best subject, and I'm not great at it, Anyway, so this is fun. This is a fun topic for everybody.
Well, yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that.
But I'm also proof of what you can do. Like, you can have your own business, be somewhat successful without any kind of education.
Did you go back and get a GED?
I did get my GED. Yep.
Okay, because I was like, because you're a mechanic, so you're not like, that's like, I would be completely bad at mechanicking. Is that how you say it? Mechanicking?
Yeah, as a mechanic.
Being a mechanic.
Turning a wrench, whatever you want. I mean, I don't do words. I don't have a technical. A technician is another.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I was considered a technician. I was a refrigeration technician.
Well, I
There
asked
he
you about
is.
I asked you about the sports because I know this guy played sports and he's got kids that play sports and he does you have 3
Joe,
kids
the
and
camera's hot. Joe, the camera's hot.
they play 10 sports between your 3 kids right now,
Good
right, Joe?
night, dude.
They yeah, it's pretty much that.
And
Between
I was telling Jimmy because Jimmy came in talking about reselling topics, so I instantly just started recording and I started explaining like, oh, we probably like I told him we started after he was done rambling and like, oh, we should probably have everyone here if we're gonna do a professional podcast.
I mean,
And I mean that would make sense, right?
yeah.
So I asked him about sports because if you play sports, you know if something starts at a certain time, you're supposed to be there 10 minutes early.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's more than 10 minutes with sports now. I mean,
Okay, so a half hour early for warm-ups.
yes. I coach basketball and I want my kids there at least a half hour before.
You're here 2 minutes early, but you according to this, you are
7 minutes late.
Yeah, 6 minutes and 50 seconds late to the beginning of the podcast. And we're supposed to be a professional podcast, Joe.
Have you ever seen the?
I don't even have time to eat my Slim Jim yet.
Have you ever seen the Everybody
No one's
Loves
watching.
Raymond? Everybody loves Raymond when they're supposed to bring the snacks for the sports. And like they get
No, but I love Everyone Loves. I mean, I've seen it probably. I don't remember. I love that show. That's a
and
great
like there's
show.
like a guy that's like really strict about the kind of snacks and like there's a snack list and here's your date and they didn't bring approved snacks and it was this big old fight. It's great. It reminds because I know Joe knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
My kids like, man, snacks. When you had that snack day, that was stress, man. Like,
It was.
I always wanted my mom to do. It's like so when you do, your mom does the snacks or whatever. Yeah. And I always wanted my mom. My mom always got like there would be the mom who would bring like a whole can of soda. I'm gonna say it's pop, but I'm gonna say soda for everyone so they understand. Bring the whole can of soda. My mom would bring like like it wouldn't even be like Capri Suns. If you got a Capri Sun, that was pretty cool. But it was like the juicy juice, like just a small one.
Those ones that look like little grenades.
Yeah, like you would drink it in like 3 seconds. Yeah, not even that good. Yeah, the barrel, like a barrel.
What we call them the Huggies. Huggies.
Huggies. Yeah. The barrels, but like that, and you would get like a whole like a big old snack cake or something.
I want to ask you about the pop because again, there's a debate that could go on for hours between soda or pop. Yeah. But did the person that brought the soda, did they bring the good stuff or did they bring like the cheap grape big K stuff?
The store brand
Shasta.
Oh, I have a story about Shasta. Hell, that almost ended my.
I used to like that stuff. I used to like that.
Right.
It's now it's Coca-Cola. Like straight up. Like if you got Coca-Cola, that'd be something. But like we used to go. We'd go on a trip, and I don't know how you guys did trips. It was all in the car. Like it was family road trip. Like I flew only a couple times. Family road trips. We have a cooler. We had a minivan. And we have the cooler would be right in the doorway, and I would sit in the back and have to crawl over with my brothers. But we'd have a cooler
no
there.
Seatbelts, folks. No seatbelts.
Oh no, gosh,
no car seat when you're a baby either.
I had the wagon. I had the my parents had we had the wood side panel wagon with the back seat where you would sit there
face backwards.
Yeah, you would face the people there. That was the best. We had that for a while, but then we got a minivan. Well, you go to the store, and the pop was probably 15 cents, 25 cents, or whatever. And we're like, you're going on a trip, and you can pick out 4 pops, and you get to pick. I get 1 grape, I can have 1 cola, I have 1 lemon lime, and then 1 orange or something. It was nice. Yeah. Now you can't even do that when you go to the store. If you buy that stuff, it's like you have to buy the 12 pack.
And if you guys have never seen Vacation, that's the movie Vacation right there. Dan just told the whole story of the movie Vacation.
Right there.
The family truckster.
That's how all it was.
Did you guys ever lay down in the back of the wagon and when you would turn it would make you roll to the side?
Yes.
We didn't have one growing up, but a family friend had one. I can remember going to like soccer games and baseball games facing the wrong way and then literally getting out of the car and I was ill. I felt so sick because I was facing the wrong way. I couldn't figure out why I was like that. I just thought I was nervous for the game, and then
Right.
three seasons into baseball, I realized that it was because I rode in a car facing the wrong way.
Well, you could tell season 4, Joe just started hitting home runs. He figured it out.
So
I always thought it was cool facing the opposite way.
There's a
Yeah,
comedian that tells a joke about facing out the back. He's like, I wonder what all these signs say. This is a totally
Oh, that's
different
funny.
trick for me.
That's so funny. That is funny. That's funny. So we're on week 3, episode 3 of. Have we officially had a name yet? We're supposed to start. We're supposed to start the show off with introducing ourselves. So I'm Dan and the Man. That's Jimmy Old School Flips, and then down below is Joe the Philly Picker. Joe, you're sitting down there today because you're late.
that's okay. I understand my punishment.
And next time you're going to be on time, which means you're here 20 minutes early.
Well, this is the easiest punishment that I ever had on like a job. You know what I mean? Like,
Because we're going to be professionals. A
you know,
little side note though, we are professional in the way that we have been. We actually can say we might have actual listeners because we are on audio side this week.
Heyo.
We're
With
on
a name that we
Spotify.
don't even know if is our.
Yeah, we don't know if it's. Yeah. We're on Spotify.
Sensitive subject.
We're on iHeart Radio. If you Samsung's a thing, I guess. It's only for Samsung users, so I don't know what the quality is over there because Apple guy. Applied to Apple and Google. They seem like they have to vet you before they let you on.
Oh,
So
boy.
if they're hearing this, I don't know if we're gonna get on. So.
yeah, if this is their checking this out first before they give us the okay, we might be in trouble.
Yeah. So,
give that a listen. And
I don't. But I don't. Do we have? Is that? I want you guys to tell me the name.
I don't know. I don't know the name because I can't get past the 8,000 text messages about a name. So I don't know where
I think
we
you
fall.
just leave it on your channel and call it the Dan and the Man Show. At this point, that's about our options are running out. I have a lot of issues. I got to call Google. I actually am having issues because of all the stuff I did with the last podcast I was on. I used my phone number you have to use your phone number to get like a code.
Yeah.
And Google said I've used mine too many times. And I know it's to do with like some of the stuff I had to do to fix the last podcast I was on. And I was, I had to, anyways, long story short, my number's been used too many times. And so like Google said, slapped me on the wrist and said, you're not doing that for a while.
Yeah, Google's probably tired of seeing that phone number come up.
Yeah. And so I thought we were good to go. I thought I had us set up. And then they said, no. Oh, no. And I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm going to call them and find out.
That's because I've set up a few every time before you came on with us. Every time Joe had some idea for a name, I would all right, Joe, let me make the channel and stuff. And then he's like, no, you know what? I don't really like that anymore. So then I have to all right, Joe.
Yeah,
because that's exactly how it happened.
It's more like someone says another name and like, oh, hey, wait a second.
You're on to something here. You're on to something.
I know.
Hey, there you go. See, there's another name. You're on to something podcast.
Oh, check it right now. You're on.
Oh,
I kind of like that. Oh, I sold something.
This is what happens, folks. Every time we start talking, like, hey, that's actually, wait a second. And then it starts getting ridiculous. Like, I found a GoPro podcast. It's like, woo.
I pulled up eBay to look it up. I still don't know. So there's no name. We have no channel. We're on my channel again this week. But we are audio side. So do I say that name? So if someone wants to, because I don't know if I can keep changing it on there.
I don't know if you can either. We are. Listen, I told you I didn't make it past the 7th grade, so don't blame me.
Wait, can we? Let's call the podcast Dumpster Fire.
Ooh, Dumpster Fire. See, this is
that's a good. But there has to be something done.
I'm sure it's taken somewhere.
I'm sure. But again, it's probably sexual. Like the backdoor one.
Oh, geez.
And I don't know. Am I supposed to talk into this? Like I was on Reseller Draft last night, and I don't remember if Paul
Yeah,
actually told me the
that
answer.
little.
Do I talk into this or do I talk into this thing? If
Well,
you're
do you have
listening,
that?
I'm holding up. I
can tell right now it's going through the one by your face.
What's
The
going through
little one
this?
that looks like a little. But you have to go into your settings on StreamYard and
That's what we
select
talked
which
about last
mic.
time. That's what we talked about last time.
Did you do that, or did you just?
No, I just because we came in and I'm gonna mess it up. Wait, so now am I talking through this?
Yeah, now you're on that.
Now you're on
Wait,
that.
you sound like you could call a baseball game on that thing.
Does it still sound good?
Funny story because I
Sound
can't
good.
show you, but like on the last podcast I was on, that setting switched to my camera, and my camera has like the jinkiest microphones on it. And so for like 5 episodes, I was recording with a crappy microphone, and like we couldn't figure out my audio. Like, what's wrong with the audio? And it was because it was using the crappy microphone on my camera and not my Yeti. Anyways, so yeah,
am I using? Do I sound still good right now?
You actually sound better.
Okay, cool. Because I paid $50 for this blue microphone. That's white.
Is that what it's connected to now? The blue Yeti? It's white, though. That's the color that is
not
white.
a Yeti. It's not a Yeti. When I first started my YouTube channel,
no, that's a Yeti. It's the Snowball, isn't it? It's the blue Snowball, not the blue Yeti.
Yeah. I googled because you know what, when you start, that's what I said when we started with this stuff, when we were talking about audio and all that kind of stuff. It's just better to get started. Like I started my channel. I forever. The only reason I have a GoPro is because I was going to go out to yard sale videos and do yard sale videos, and that never happened. I'd still be on my phone recording my videos, and that's the only reason. So I was going live, and they said you needed a microphone, especially so like, well, I didn't know I was going to do a live. So I searched, watched YouTube videos on the cheapest, best microphone, and it gave me this one was an option. So it's the one I bought. Paid $50 for it.
It's a good one. I wish I had found one at a yard sale once. I wish I still had it. I'd send it to Joe, but I think I gave it to
Joe's got he's got a fancy old Yeti.
I got a
Oh,
Yeti.
You got a Yeti? Oh,
I got a blue Yeti that's
I thought you were using the headphones too, man.
No, we just think we have to.
I don't know. I might not be using it right.
No,
so
you sound great. So
now, are we supposed to wear headphones?
You don't have to if you have the right. I don't use headphones. You guys don't. There's a setting in there that removes background sound as well.
Well, Dan told me that I can't come on this podcast unless I have headphones.
It's kind of like
I've never used them, and I don't think I've ever had any. But it's something that we have to test behind the scenes. Like you don't want to test it right now, and then all of a sudden you get that.
Yeah, we don't want to do it now because we started on a flash. We started the show.
You started without me. I'm not sure.
Because again, you're supposed to be here early. Well, it was a good subject. It was about free returns. Jimmy was doing free returns, and he was telling me why, and I thought it was a good time to just start recording.
So I missed a lot.
Oh, you can go back and watch it. You can watch it, or you can listen to it on Samsung. Do you have a Samsung or your Apple?
Me, I'm Apple.
Is Samsung Android? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Wait, so if you have, oh yeah, never mind. I was gonna say,
like my Samsung phone is an Android phone.
That's because it comes up. I can't when you text me in a chat, you can't reply and hit the comment and reply to that comment, and
I can't give it a thumbs up because
it's really weird.
Yeah, it says
I can't thumbs up on my phone. Other Samsung users
that's something to think about.
I've tried using an iPhone. I've described it before in the past on video as trying to wipe my rear end with my left hand. Just not happen. It's just not working. I'm right-handed, by the way.
But it's just having an Android friend in a group chat it's a little weird, and it's only it took us only 19 minutes to get to. Mike has Mike's an Apple guy. He's always texting us. He shows us what upgrades to do that.
Yeah.
And see, I thought I was moving up. See, I'm up here in the corner now. I thought I was moving up the list.
No, you're only up there because Joe's on punishment.
Joe's on punishment.
Listen, I've been punished in different jobs, and this is the easiest. This is the easiest one.
I don't know. Hanging out with us two could probably be considered.
Well, I consider this the job, and then me being put down here. I'm okay with it. I can come in my head. I'm thinking that I can come late all the time now because I'm only going to be put to the bottom.
All right.
Yeah, but then you'll miss the free shipping stories.
Wait,
You'll
free.
have- I mean,
Oh,
free returns.
free returns.
Free returns.
Yeah. I'll give you the gist of it just to catch up a little bit. He does free returns because he went to eBay Open. This is Jimmy, I'm saying. Went to eBay Open, and eBay told him that if it's something that they're pushing, that's what he does. And he was saying that if I wanted to try it for like 3 months to give it a try. And I will tell you, when I first started selling on eBay, I did do free returns for a long time. And when I switched to clothing, I think it's been 2 years now, a little over 2 years. I was getting so many jeans and stuff returned to me because they don't fit. I stopped, and I just
There's
do buy.
different things.
I think that's a category that gets a whole lot more returns.
Yeah.
Would be the clothing category.
Clothing is a tough one. That's one of the things I want to say. Like I've always said, like everybody can do their own. Yeah, like, that's what I love about eBay. Do it what works best for you. This is what works best for me. I would, because I already can see in the comments. Like I can already see it. Like I don't, don't do free return. It works for me. Like for me, free returns and the results I see from having that on all my listings, I don't have an issue with some of the returns I get. Again, percentage wise, it's so small the amount of returns and compared to sales that, like we said, never have an issue with, never hear from again.
I don't have a ton. I don't have a ton of returns. I just had one open. They just mailed it back today, and it was a shirt, and it doesn't fit. And then it's just like typical because it's mostly pre-owned clothing, so that stuff's been used and it's been worn, it's been washed, and probably shrunk a little bit or whatever. That's why I put the measurements in there and in the listing, and they returned it, and the explanation was, this doesn't fit like all the other ones I have of this exact same size. I have 7 of them, or I get that a lot. And then jeans was the biggest problem because those are all going out at like £2 rate. So I'm paying $8-9 to get it shipped back to me. And I buy a lot of thrifted clothing. So I'm paying $8-9 a pair of jeans, selling it for $25, if $20-25 and up or whatever. And that's not a brag. Like, I mean, once in a while I'll sell a pair of jeans for $30, but mostly between like $20.
He's flexing right now, folks.
He is.
But so if I get a return, that crushes it. So it also like how I sourced it. If I went to the bins and I'm paying like it's $1.59 a pound now, so like just under $3 a pair of jeans. Like I almost could if you're selling it for 20. Because but it's like then you get it back and you relist it and sell it again, and in 6-7 months you're just recouping your money. But I could see if I started doing that, maybe I would try it again. But yeah,
it would be a matter of if your volume improved enough, because it's a volume based decision, and there's competition out there, Dan, especially in what I like to call the bread and butter clothing category.
Yeah,
which is I just stalked you and looked at your store the other day.
Did you?
I'm Christmas shopping on people's stores, by the way. And I was actually on my way to the auction, so I didn't get to finish shopping. But the thing about that is you do have a lot of competition out there that is offering free shipping and free returns. And so that's a tough category to start with. And so when your competition is willing to offer that, it can make it difficult. But I also understand not wanting to do it because that's a category that's really hard to pill to swallow, accepting free returns, because there's definitely it doesn't fit and I want a free return, when you don't offer that, if it doesn't fit, it's not a free return. So I get it. That's what I love about eBay though too. You have options
to do whatever,
do what works for you. Yeah,
I do notice that a lot too, because that's what I sell. It's like just basic and it was just out of necessity. That's what I find around here.
Bread and butter's a good thing. That's why they call it bread. I mean, I love
find
bread
good
and
stuff.
butter.
Oh, I didn't bring it. Oh, I
had a slice of bread and butter for dinner last night. So I mean, I get it.
I went out yesterday thrifting. That was the thing. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. Was I went thrifting yesterday. I haven't been inside of a Goodwill other than a half off sale in most of the summer. It's been to the bins because I was focusing on like doing whatnot more, and I was going to the bins. And I would go to regular Goodwill thrift store like just want the sale 50% off because their prices have gone kind of up. But I needed stuff to list this week. We're supposed to get snow. It's supposed to snow today. Not that it's gonna stick, but I just wanted to make sure I had stuff to list because my sales this last weekend was just like last weekend. It was like really kind of slow for me. But I've also this last week has been messing with the podcast more, trying to get stuff going on it. So like my listing was hurting 2 days that we were, recorded and then put it out. Like it was kind of 2 days of nothing really, like other than a few listings. I didn't have anything sourced or anything. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, so I went to the thrift store and there was like the price up, Joe. The prices were really high. They were a lot higher than they were before. Like I've been complaining about them being higher and higher just for like a pair of just like an Under Armour Nike stuff that's just bread and butter stuff that's probably sell 25 bucks. They're asking $13. Yeah,
is it Goodwill or what's good? Do you have any like local? Like I love like in Colorado, they had like a local, local only thrift company that was really good. Do you have any options like that?
We have in my town. There is it's a church thrift store. It's very small, but all the clothes are $1.
Oh yeah.
You can't and I can find decent stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I would go there more often.
I go there. I really go there like probably once a week because it's just like they don't put out a ton of stuff all the time. But every day, Friday and Saturday are half off sales of everything, but clothes are always $1. So, and that's what I mostly sell. So I don't really have to go there those days. And then the rest of the week, everything else other than clothing, which is always $1, it's 25% off items. So you always you find shoes and the shoes are priced not $12. They're like priced $6, $7, where they're like $12 at Goodwill now. Right. But it's good. I found good stuff there. But it's small. It's so small. You can't just focus on that. And the other one I like is Salvation Army. We have Salvation Army.
Yeah.
What's thrifting like in Philly, Joe?
Well, the Goodwill.
Do you do a lot of thrifting out there?
I do. I mostly go to. I try to do the yard sales when it's they do have them. But I do mostly. I like the flea market, so I try to go there. We have one flea market that's open all year round, so I try to hit that on the weekends. But the thrift stores right now, they're still the same thrift stores from where I moved. It just takes me it takes me about another 10 minutes to get there or whatever. But they're recently had a change of it's a Goodwill, but they had management change. Somebody came in and you can, when I tell you cannot source the clothes anymore, it's because they have so many clothes there now that are so overpriced that nobody is buying them. Wow. And you cannot, you can't move one or two t-shirts apart to even look what it is. It's getting really bad.
So that stuff has to end up at the bins then, right?
I'm assuming that's where it has to go. But jeans went from they were $6.99, I would say, last year in the beginning of the year. Then they went to $8.99, but they're $12.99 now for jeans. And no, I don't see anybody buying them. I never see anybody buying them unless it's, you'll find a gem in there every now and then. But
do you want to spend all that time, like you said?
Yeah, literally, it's so hard to look through anything. T-shirts now, regular T-shirts that were $4, $3.99, they're $7.99 now, I think. It's just So when I do go to the thrift stores, I usually just try to look at the hard goods and stuff like that. Occasionally, if a new rack of clothing does come out while I'm there, I'll take a look at that. But I rarely go through the shelves anymore.
Joe's in the back room. He just goes to the back room where he's sorting back there, just looking through the.
I always wonder what they got back there. I always want to go.
That's we all peek back there, right? You guys ever
Well, now it's just such a younger crew that came in here with the new management or whatever, and it's all that you should see all the clothing that they wear to work. Everybody's got on, Jordans and, everything. So that nothing's coming out of the back. That's where
they've taken over.
It's just a younger crew that had come in and, taken over.
Oh no, Joe.
It's just so crazy how management's so different. We just got a Goodwill that opened up in my town 2 months ago, and we love it already. Like we've been hitting there every time we go there. We hit there, and then we go to the one just a town over, and you can tell it's picked over, bare shelves, and the prices.
Your
are
town with 7,000 people has a Goodwill.
Yeah, yeah.
No
and
way.
It's been great so far. Like I just went there yesterday while we were. It's right next door to Walmart. We were going to Walmart to get stuff for dinner, and I ran in there and I found a brand new vintage record player in the box. Like they let me open it. It was never been out of the box. Like I checked it for $4.
Yeah, that's some of this. That's some of the stuff that I find that's good with me. Like, I mean, nothing like a vintage record player, but I feel like a lot of the electronics. Like I bought two crock pots that were brand new, and they were like $4. I sold them for $75. They're brand new in the package, never open, so it's easy to ship. I mean, I just wrapped them in paper and then put a label right on the box. It was, so a lot of that stuff they don't look. I think the younger crew just looks for what's
right.
Younger
crew is not
on Instagram. Yeah, they're looking at the sneakers and the clothing that's coming in and the vinyl records. I mean, they used to be $1, the vinyl records. Now they're $4 or $5. Some are individually priced. Different ones are individually priced now. So all the things that the younger crew is into, they those prices have gone up. But nobody's worrying about a crock pot or silverware. Silverware, you can still go in there and buy a whole bag of silverware. I actually just sold it. I bought it on last week sometime. I think Wednesday last week. I listed it over a weekend and it sold. I bought it for $4. It was like 20 something pieces that are NIDA.
See Joe walking around the thrift with a crock pot and silverware, and those Jordan kids are walking like, look at this old guy playing.
Hey, look at this old geezer.
I had to adapt. I wasn't finding any. I used to go there and get sneakers.
This dude's lost. He doesn't know what he's doing.
So I keep to myself. I just walk around, and But
do you wear your headphones?
I do not. I only really use my headphones when I talk to you, Dan.
Oh.
And I only use one at a time too, because
I learned that. You taught me that.
Yeah, some of our conversations are long, so I
long-winded.
Long-winded. That's what. So I have to keep one on standby, so when this one dies, I can throw the other one in.
That's funny stuff.
That's a little tip for you.
It was a great tip. That's a good tip. That was the best, because I only wear one all the time. But then I was like, I gotta go. My earbuds out. So when you go to the thrift store, do you wear your old school flips hat?
Yes, sir. I wear this hat everywhere.
I think he wears it at the bed.
Does anyone ask you what that is when you're at
where was I? Just someone at Goodwill in Marion, Ohio. Sonia was checking out, and the lady, this was the bad one, the one that the Goodwill that has priced too high. And she goes, "What's flips?" And I was like, "Let me show you." And I did a flip right there. It was pretty impressive, actually.
You didn't do a flip, did you?
No. Did I do a flip? I did not do a flip. No, I said it's my business. I told her it's my business. It's a YouTube channel that I have. It's called Old School Flips, and I was like, "Yep." And
it's just
go check it out.
Minor league baseball team here.
It's a minor league. It's the name of my podcast that I do with these two guys.
It's 7,000 people. You don't have a minor league baseball team there, though, do you?
No, we have a football team that didn't win a single game. The high school football team did not win a single game.
Well,
that's what we got.
Is it one high school there?
High school, yeah. Yep. Bucyrus High School.
I'm gonna have to Google what this town looks like, because in my head it's like dirt paved roads.
Yeah, like tumbleweed. That in my head.
But he's like, it's good.
No, you know what it is. It's nothing but leaves everywhere you look. Good.
Don't even talk about leaves,
man. Nobody warned me. I kind of messaged these guys. I was like, nobody told me that our entire street is leaves. It's paved, but when you drive down, it's just leaves just flying. In my yard, you can't even. I just raked, and now you can't even see my yard again.
I know. I spent 4 hours on
snow, but this is worse.
4 hours on Saturday, and it doesn't look like I picked up one leaf.
When did you move there, Jimmy?
We moved here in May.
Oh, so since your first winter.
It's good from what I've seen and heard, and everybody we talked to. It's going to be better than Colorado's winter as far as snow.
I saw they had snow. They had like the first football game with snow.
Yeah.
But then like the next day it could be like 70 there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, Denver has a misconception because it's not in the mountains. It's the mountains are right there. You can see them. You can throw a football and hit them, but you're not in the mountains. So when it gets snow, and then like 2 days later the snow's all melted and gone. It's nice out. But the mountains, which are you can be in the mountains in 45 minutes from Denver, and that is snow all the time, every day, all day, and it builds up, and you can't it doesn't go away.
So I think I asked before. So you're in the kind of the middle of the state of Ohio.
Yeah, if you point directly center of Ohio and then just go north a hair on the map, and that's
so you're not close to a lake or anything. Like
I'm 1 hour and 15 minutes away from Lake Erie.
So you should be okay. Because if I get lake effect,
so do you get? Yeah, I was just going to ask that. Lake effect snow.
Lake effect
snow. We have neighbors that have been here for like 20, 30 years, and we've talked to a couple of them, and we asked them about what to expect, and from what they told us, it won't be as bad as Denver. It won't even be nearly as bad as Denver as far as snow. The ice has kind of got me a little bit worried, and we definitely get more rain. Like
here?
In Colorado, in Ohio. Colorado didn't get a lot of rain, and if it did rain, it was kind of like a thunderstorm in the evening, and that was it. Here it's like it'll rain for 2 days straight, and I'm just not used to that at all. I went from Arizona to Colorado, like to have it rain 2 days in a row to me is like, I don't mind it, but it's also
you're gonna get a flood.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
doesn't do that in Colorado.
What's that?
It doesn't do that in Colorado. It won't rain like
Colorado is like, as you go further east from the mountains, it's considered like a desert type.
Really?
What's it called? I don't do words.
Desert.
But yeah, there's definitely not as many trees. It's a drier climate. It's definitely way drier. Like there's no humidity in Denver area. Like it's a dry climate. So there you go. It's a dry climate.
Oh, are there vultures there? You ever seen a vulture?
In Ohio, yes. There's literally, they're just in the.
That's a real question, Joe.
Yeah, for sure. Colorado, not a lot here. They'll be right out front of my house. I mean, I've had deer in my backyard already. We've had vultures in the street right out front eating a raccoon.
Last year in my town there was wild turkeys running around. And I was driving home from Goodwill one day, and this guy was running down the sidewalk, and a turkey was chasing him. I felt so bad.
You should have grabbed it.
No, it's called Route 6, it's like a 45 mile an hour highway type road, but it's like through the, I guess, city. I don't know. It's like that. But I felt so bad. I was going to pull over and like have the guy jump in my car, and he was like swinging a backpack. It was crazy. And then after that, I was like, no one's ever going to believe that I saw this. And then all of a sudden on Facebook, they were just everywhere all over town. Like people were just picturing, and they were near the church store.
Grown man getting chased by like a grown man.
If I'm getting chased by a turkey,
that was a setup. That was a setup for you to stop, and then they're gonna rob you.
That's what I thought. I felt bad for the guy, man.
You would definitely be like, that's not something you see every day.
No, it was crazy.
A grown man getting chased by a turkey, and he was waving his backpack at it, trying. Was it a vintage Jansport backpack?
I couldn't tell.
Made in USA with the leather bottom.
Those are good.
Yeah, polo.
Yeah,
you should have asked them to buy it.
Stop it! I know things are. I know things are rough for you right now. I can see that you've got a hectic moment going on.
Try to buy it off his back.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of buying stuff off people, I want to because this is two stories. Weird. We already had Halloween here in Bucyrus, Ohio. It's like literally they tell you when to have Halloween. Our Halloween, this is not made up. I didn't believe it. Our Halloween was on Sunday from 2 to 4. And it's a citywide thing. Like, that's it. Our Halloween's over, and I'm mad. Like, I'm pissed. Like, it's Halloween today while we're recording. But no, mine's already over because I was told by the city that
everyone that's listening, it's the Halloween's after, so it works out perfect.
Yeah, but I want to hand out candy on Halloween night. No, our Halloween is during the day, when the sun is out from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on a Sunday. And like we talked to our neighbors again, and they're like, no, that's it. That's Halloween. We're done. It's over. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but
Some towns in Pennsylvania do that too. You know, our buddy Mike had Halloween like last Wednesday or something.
Our buddy Mike, like it's Mike. He knows who Mike is. He's the guy that he's keeping the seat warm for Mike. He knows who Mike is. Don't act like he doesn't know.
Mike, I thought about
Mike.
There was a couple kids with Scream ghost face masks. I was thinking about asking, hey, I'll give you $20 for that mask right now.
Well, last week
start buying them. No, give him an extra piece of candy for the mask. Oh yeah, I found this in my grandma's closet.
Yeah. And Johnny comes home with no mask, and then Mr. Johnny wants to come back and fight you because you.
Dad, why did that guy walk up, pull my mask, and snap it back? He was checking the underneath of the chin for the marking. No, I was. You can ask Sonya. I was like, man, I'm gonna tell, because one of them I could tell was modern, but one of them I think might have been vintage. Really? I mean, if that's $1,000 that kid's wearing on their face, you better believe I'm gonna offer them a Tootsie Roll for it.
Or I'd give them the what's your favorite? If it was me as a child, they'd be like, what's your favorite candy? And I'd be like, well, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. They're like, I'll give you an entire bag of Reese's Pieces candy for that mask. I'm like, yeah, that's fine with me.
That's why I wanted to ask, is that frowned upon? Do you think that would be frowned upon to start offering to buy kids Halloween masks?
That would be so awesome.
Imagine that video. Like, I bought this mask off a trick-or-treater and it's worth $1,000. You would get shredded for buying $1,000 mask off a kid, though. You would never hear the end of that one.
I went to
yeah, but I'd have $1,000 though. I wouldn't care. I say that I'm lying. I would.
I went to pep rally when the Phillies were still playing, and
they lose or something.
Yeah, they did. I'm heartbroken, but there was a lady there, an older lady there, and they had the bus and everything. You can sign the bus and everything, but I'll show you a picture. She had this old.
It'd be great for the listeners on iHeart Radio. Mike is listening on iHeart Radio, and he cannot see that
all over print, huh?
Yeah, it was a chalk line chalk line
jacket.
Yeah, but it was the Eagles one. I don't know. You probably can't see that.
No, I can see it.
Yeah. The
chalk line is a bolo, folks. Look up chalk line jackets, and they have like the all over satin print. Oh my gosh! I found 3 jackets.
I asked her if she would sell it, and she said that she won it. She's had it for 30 years, but she says not only does she have this one, she has a Randall Cunningham one, which was a quarterback for the also at home, and she said that they were not for sale. But that's like wrestling. That's probably like a $600 or $700 jacket. Yeah.
Was Chalkline like a cool back in the was it cool when it was back in the day? Was it?
Yeah. Was it before like starters or around the same time? Same time?
That's what I'm wondering, because I don't remember Chalkline. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember if it was cool or not. Because like now I see people like, oh, this is a logo. Like, is it Logo Athletic or something? Like, is that they make the shark tooth?
Yeah,
sports?
There's like Logo 7 and Logo Athletic. Those are 2 different things, right?
Logo Athletic and Sports Specialties. I think the Shark Tooth is Proline, though.
Proline?
I got one over there. I'll go check in a second.
Well, because my point was that like back when I was a kid, I remember like we only wanted starter stuff. Like I only wanted starter stuff. Now I see people wanting like it's Logo Athletic and stuff like that, and it's probably stuff I would have. If someone gave it to me when I was a kid, I would have got rid of, and it kind of kills me now. I probably had that stuff and got rid of it, but I was just curious if I don't remember Chalkline.
Chalkline's probably like Joe's right. It's probably pre all this. It's almost like they missed the boat. Like they had it right, and then Starter and Proline and all those other companies came in and took it to another level.
Well, I think like Chalkline jackets, they weren't like real heavy, so it wasn't.
Yeah, they're like light. Like a light windbreaker type.
Windbreaker, yeah. So
like a fall jacket.
Like a fall jacket.
Perfect for a pep rally.
Yes. When Starter came out, or I'm sure they were out, they were like the heavy jackets. You know what I mean? They were.
Well, that was the one you needed.
Chalkline made a heavier like satin jacket with like the spell out in the back. I've sold those before. I've sold a Raiders jacket that was Chalkline. It was just all black satin with Raiders across the back.
Oh yeah.
So Chalkline, and I sold a Lions one like that too. So, but it still wasn't as heavy as the Parka stuff, though. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
They never made that big of a jacket.
I sold a 49ers one. I found it at the flea market. It was stained though. It was bad, but it was. I still think I got over $100 for it, but it was a chalk line 49ers. It had like the miner on the back of it, like hitting a rock.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it
sweet.
was a really cool one. So
My worst chalk line find ever was a Dolphins one. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, but it smelled like an ashtray, like complete ashtray. And at that time, I didn't really know how to treat one, so I tried soaking it, and all the like in OxyClean or whatever,
Yeah.
all the colors bled. Like it was just, it wasn't. It didn't get rid of all the smell, and it had just the whole, all the colors just bled all over.
So you sold it as
it ruined
distressed?
it.
You sold it as distressed?
No, I just threw it in the trash. Now, if you guys don't know about ozone machines, that is a reseller topic for sure. I got a ozone machine now. Is that what they're called? Oh, I think it's called an ozone machine. And it takes smell out, folks.
Like you paid for a whole machine?
Because I made a buy of some toys that I wanted for me.
Yeah.
And they all smelled like smoke. And so I read
toys?
up on Transformers. I got a couple of them right here, right now. And I read up on how to really get rid of the smell. And I started reading about this ozone machine. And it worked. So I bought one. It was only like $50, $50-$60. And it was an investment for my company too. Because if it works as good as they say, and it does, man, it's like, now you can't just run it in your house. It literally has to be like put in a room with no pets, no plants, and you run it, and it like literally puts out a smell like a chlorine smell. But there's videos on it, like what it does. The whatever it puts out literally grabs onto the molecules that create the smell from the item and removes it. So you want to have good airflow and everything. Anyways, long story long, an ozone machine works great. Like those toys do not have any odor at all anymore. Like they don't have a smell in any way, shape,
I've never
or
heard
form.
of that.
well, yeah. That's a better story than what Dan told me. Dan told me to put sneakers in the freezer, and then when my wife came home, I had to explain that. So
that works. I did
yeah.
that I had a pair of Hey Dudes, and
Hey, dude.
Hey Dude, they look brand new, but they smelled like smoke, and I was like, oh, I didn't want to leave them. Like yesterday, I was thrifting, and I found this like Yoshi hat that goes on, and it smelled like smoke. But I Googled it, not Googled it. I looked it up on eBay, and there were some sold comps that this one I'm 90% sure it's not the same one, but sold comps for like $70. I'm like, oh, I can work on this. I'll get the smell out of this. And then I was looking into it more, and I'm like, I think this is just a Halloween costume mask. I don't think this is like, it's a hat. It was like a hat. I'm like, this isn't the same. It can't be the same one. So I left it. But Pick and Roll Steve is the one that told me to put it in the freezer. So I tried it.
I've heard that.
I've tried it, and it made it better. But like that time, I ended up. Luckily I sold those shoes on Poshmark super fast, and the guy was happy and he was fine. And the smell was away, but I could still I don't know if it was in my head. Like I get worried about everything all the time, so I don't know if it was like, yeah, I just smell the smoke now.
It probably wasn't. Again, now that I've done this YouTube, you guys, everybody listening, and when you guys get a chance, YouTube ozone machine and like the science behind it, and how it works. Because that's one thing because I'm not an educated person, I do like to educate myself now that I'm older on stuff like that. And so like I wanted to find out exactly why I should do this and how it works. And man, and I'll tell you what, it works. Like I've done it on clothing now. I've done it on multiple items, and like I've sold those items, and it doesn't smell at all. Like there's no smell.
Will you tell me and the listeners, will you just put us at ease that you aren't affiliated with or anything to do with ozone, that you're not trying to sell us this? It's not some kind
Actually,
of.
if you could, there's a link down below. I get 10%.
Use code Philly Picker.
No, wait, Joe, you didn't say a word about this.
Well, no, I'm still trying to get back in the good graces of taking $600 worth of meat out of the freezer to put in $75 worth of sneakers.
That's what you did.
I'm still not forgiven for that.
I put my
You
Hey
know.
Dudes on top of some ribs or something.
Well, you didn't.
I
Put
had
the
to have
whole,
I had to have that conversation with my brother, and I'm like, I'll put them in a bag, but like, are you okay if
You
I just
guys-
put these in
we
the
guys-
freezer?
We have you guys just have company over. They go to the freezer and there's shirts and
there's
shoes,
sneakers falling out.
Halloween mask that like there's a Halloween mask of a head just sitting there.
Meanwhile, there's steak thawing out on the counter. Listen, honey, 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
That's awesome.
So,
We gotta cook this. We gotta cook this. I got shoes in the freezer.
So Dan didn't give me the whole. He just said remove everything out of the freezer and put your sneakers in there. So that's exactly what I did. Because I thought Dan was my friend and he was giving me good advice in the reselling game.
You should.
I can just see that's hilarious.
Well, you just
like-
trying to get Lauren mad at me?
At least you won't be mad at me then.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever.
No, but anyways, I'm not affiliated with them, and it works. And if because we've all come across that item that was worth good money. That's like my horror stories. I bought a PS3 early on that didn't stink, but then I plugged it in and the fan on the inside turned on and started moving the air through the system, and stunk up my whole house
Really?
like smoke. And I was like, oh, and like so like that PS3 I ended up never even selling because I didn't know about that. Man,
I always worry about that.
Yeah,
I
so
finding like a bunch of Jordan. Like I was at the Goodwill and I found a bunch of Jordans, like the Air Force Ones. There must have been 6-7 pairs, but they all smelled like smoke. And I'm like, I'm never messing with. I left them.
having
like
that
the perfect
machine would have
time.
changed it. Having that machine, you would have been like, you know what?
I didn't know about it.
How big is the machine? Is it big?
No, it's like it's probably like 12 by 12 by 7.
Oh, so number 7 box.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not big at all. And
So can you fold up like a shirt or a jacket and put it in there, and then you just fold it up and then?
So no, it's not like it's a machine that you just plug in and turn, but you don't want, and it doesn't have like an enclosure or anything. You
don't put the item in
so
there.
like, for instance, I have a sunroom that's off the side of my house.
Whoa.
And I just put everything in there that I wanted that smell out of. And I ran it out in that room with a fan on. And because you want those molecules to circulate is the big thing. So
in my head, I thought it was like one of those things. Remember those things that used to clean like your cell phone? You put it in there.
Oh yeah, like a phone soap.
Yeah, that's what I envisioned that. So
so like based on how big this, it's supposed to be for like. So what it's supposed to be for is like people that when you like an apartment complex when they turn an apartment after somebody moves out, you're supposed to run it in there and get all those smells out.
And it smells like a swimming pool.
It does. After you're done, it smells like has a chlorine smell to it. But it also just the room does, not the items. Just the room does.
Sounds amazing.
But that smell dissipates. Is that the right word? After a while,
I don't know.
Yeah. And it works great. I'll just like I have some of those toys are on my shelf right here. They don't stink at all. Let me check.
What? What are the comps on them? Are you sure? Are they?
Who did the sniff test the other day? The shoe sniff test. No smell on the vintage Transformer.
Or you could just be used to the smell. Like it be.
Right.
I was watching Theo Vaughn's podcast last week, and he had a New York City garbage man on there, and he said like you just get used to the smell. So maybe you're just used to it. So
I'm very sensitive to that smell.
We need to find someone else who's tried what is it called? The ozone
machine.
All right. I've never heard of that in my life.
It works. Either had I, but when I started doing research, I saw multiple videos about it. I'm just saying, man.
Reputable people that did the video.
No, actually, no, it was not reputable at all. Actually,
they
were like me. They had multiple Gmail accounts. Their phone number had been removed from being used, and
hey, you should just get a burner phone so you can have more accounts.
Hey, I'll get that podcast going. I got a burner phone.
Can you get a burner Apple phone? Just asking for.
Can you?
I'll try. My kids have Apple phones. Maybe I'll ask them if I can use their phone number. Yeah, my kids, they're the hip ones. They both have Apple phones. Is that
Okay.
iPhones? It's not Apple phones, it's iPhones.
What does Sonia have?
She's got a Samsung. Sonia, you guys, this is the funny. She hates technology. Like I had to convince her to get a smartphone. She was probably one of the last people in this country to get a smartphone. Like she hated the idea of having a smartphone, but she now has Samsung, and she does okay. You guys would laugh at her trying to navigate.
I ended
that
up getting an iPhone because I wanted to have keyboard texting. Because texting was becoming popular.
Yeah.
I didn't get a cell phone until like 2005. Was when I got my first cell phone, and I used it wasn't even a flip phone.
You didn't have the Nokia, the little Note. Everybody had a Nokia
with the snake game on it.
I remember at one point I had a beeper. I don't know why.
Oh,
and I had a beeper, and then my mom would give us.
It was because you were a drug dealer, Dan. That's why.
Well, no, because my mom would give us. I had a beeper, and then I had a what do you call it? A calling card. So then I would go to the payphone, and like I would get a beep, and then I would go to the payphone and use the payphone to call. My mom would buy them at like Sam's Club or something, or wherever she would get them, and like, hey mom, can I have a phone card? And we get a phone card, and that's how we did it.
Remember when phone cards were big business, man? Like that was such big business in the 90s.
Wait, did you sell that stuff? I didn't.
No, I worked for a printing company, and it's funny because we had one of our departments made phone cards, but it was like highly secured, like only certain people worked in that department, and they literally had to. It was a different building, and they had to have all the security checks done, pre-qualified, and they had certain. So I was definitely not allowed in there. But yeah, it was crazy, and it was our biggest money maker for sure. Those phone cards now, they're not. It's not a thing that much anymore.
Do they have them anymore?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
But you guys I know, Dan. Like it used to be, like you go to the store and there were phone cards everywhere that you could buy.
Yeah,
prepaid phone cards. Yeah,
I don't think I ever used one.
Really?
Yeah.
Especially for long distance, because remember when you used to have to call long distance? And it's so weird. This is a way off the wall topic. Remember you used to have to call long distance and it cost money and stuff.
Yeah, and then when you had a cell phone, you had to wait till like after 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, or I think even was regular phone. Was that? Did you? Because I always remember calling my grandparents like later in the night. Like I don't know if it was.
Yeah, because your parents had a long distance phone company that they paid a monthly fee for to make long distance calls.
And it was was it cheaper?
Cheaper, yeah.
Because that would transfer over to when they had cell phones.
Oh, you don't remember those days?
I don't really?
Remember. Well, your family lives all in Philadelphia, right? You guys are all
But I remember phone cards, but I never had one. I remember that. But then the whole beeper and pager thing, I don't remember any. I mean, I remember seeing people with them.
beeper was like, I don't know, $50, I think.
I think I got my cell phone in like 2002, 2001, but it was that Nokia one that had that one game on it, and but like
it was indestructible. Like you could not break that phone.
But if you were going to text, it was like 10 or 12 cents a text. You know what I mean? It was you had to pay for each text or something.
And I paid for ringtones too. Like I would pay
like round up, like you had like 500 minutes on your phone, and everything would round up to the next minute. So you would look at your phone and be like 2 minutes and 3 seconds. I'd be like, it's 3 minutes now.
How much things have changed? Because I remember the first time I got caller ID and how excited I was to be able to. Because there was a day when you used to pick up the phone and go hello, and you didn't know who it was. Like they would be like, "Hey, Joe."
Nice.
I usually screen my phone calls or the answering machine.
Bad signal.
The screen.
Hello.
How old are you guys? Like, because you guys, if you don't mind me asking, like, I don't know how old you guys are, but like, I'm 47, so I remember as a kid, you answered the phone with hello, not knowing who was there.
Yeah, I'm 44, so I remember.
I'm 42.
Yeah, so you guys remember that too. Then you remember the days when there was no caller ID. I remember when caller ID came out, and you're like, you can see who's calling.
Honestly, I don't think I ever had caller ID.
Wow, as a teenager, caller ID changed.
We had an answering machine, and then so like a lot of times I wouldn't answer the phone. I didn't have anyone like I would talk like I mean once in a while.
That's how you had to screen calls back then.
My
those
friends
answers.
usually would come by the house. Like they would just drive. Like when we could drive, they would just drive over.
Let's just drive over. We're not going to call. He won't
my
answer.
my one buddy, we would go to his house. Me and my other friend, we would just go to his house, and like we knew how to get in there if they weren't home, so we would break in, and we would leave a note like we were here, and then we would leave. And his mother loved it. Like she absolutely loved. She thought it was hilarious. And now I'm thinking, like, gosh, we would get shot in the face today doing that. Like,
I remember calling my grandparents' phone, but like the first 2 digits of their number were a letter, like RE9. I just remember that was it was on the phone. It didn't, whatever those.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the way I remembered their phone number was RE9, and it was like, you didn't have to put the area code in or nothing. You just had the 7 digits, and it was
really
the first 2 were letters.
That's why I've never heard of that. I remember
I've never heard that in my life. It must be a Philadelphia thing.
It might be. You know what I mean?
Or he just had. Yeah, I mean, Joe just had a direct line to the.
he might.
That's because they lived in the same house as him. It was just the intercom.
It really wasn't a phone.
We talked about they were in the West Wing and he's out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, we went off the rails there. We have to come back to some reselling, right? Like to talk a little more about reselling, I guess. Like, how are you guys' sales this last week?
Not great. My sales have slowed down, and this weekend was slow for me too. So I'm doing some things. I'm working on some things like ending and selling similar, running some sales, and I'm listing a lot.
What's a lot?
Yeah.
Do you list number of items? Do you list like
I just list. I don't have
you just don't worry about it.
So far today, I've probably already listed 12 items, and I'll list again later when I get bored.
Yeah,
but I just make sure I list every day. I make sure I don't not list.
My sales were all right. I think I've been pretty much steady, but I've been listing. I try to list, whenever I can, but
right.
I have no complaints with it.
That's good, Joe. We're happy you're happy.
Well, we're happy. One of us has to be.
I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't even think I probably had like 23 sales for the weekend, and last weekend I had 39. So yeah, that's quite the drop off for me. Yeah.
I had I think I had 9 go out yesterday. So like today I have 7 going out.
Already, that's good. I have 2 going out.
Well, I mean, go from yesterday into today.
Okay.
Yeah,
so far today, I got you.
Yeah. And it was nice. I sold a few pairs of shoes that I just listed them over the weekend. I hadn't even put them, like my shoes are on my listing area. I take pictures of them. I have them sitting there. And then like the next time, like next day or so, I'll come bag them and then put them away. I haven't even filed them away yet. And they were selling today. I was happy. So that was good.
I had a short, like I think I had 13 listings or 13 items that sold over the weekend, but 9 of them might have sold in like a 2-hour period on Sunday. Yeah, it was like a quick span of a lot of sales in that night.
Was it after football or before football? Or during
it was after football.
During the Sunday night
after the 1:00 game, I would say, because I was sitting around and
watching the Eagles.
Was after the game, yeah.
The Bears played on Sunday night.
Yeah. The who?
The Bears. They played Sunday night.
They got their butts whipped.
Are they?
I turned it up.
Is that still? Are they still a team?
Yeah, they're a team.
Okay.
Something that I've noticed weird with the sales. I usually sell 3-4 items while I'm sleeping. Like that's a good 12-13 hours that I sleep. No, like the 8-9 hours that I'm sleeping, I usually sell 2-3 things. There's some nights I've sold 5 things while I'm sleeping. I can like the last 4 or 5 nights I haven't sold a single thing while sleeping.
Really?
Yeah, that to me, that like today I woke up no sales, like, and the day before for sure the last 2 days no sales while I was sleeping at all, and that's very unusual for me. And then instantly it makes me start thinking of the West Coast, because I go to bed 3 hours before they would normally go to bed, and then global stuff too. Like, is there something going on there that's keeping those sales from coming in? Because that's when I get those sales, the West Coast sales and the global stuff usually comes in overnight.
Yeah. Do you? I sometimes wonder, like, sometimes like I get like questions about, like I listed a tape measure over the weekend, and somebody in, I don't know, it was on the West Coast, was sending me a message at like 6 a.m. my time. Now it's
Right.
3 a.m. their time, and it instantly goes to my, why is somebody looking at 3:30 in the morning? Like
That project did not go well.
a tape measure, you know what I mean? Or
That home improvement project is not going well.
yeah. If you're looking for a tape measure at 3 a.m., something's not, So. How about this? This might be weird. Do you guys look up ever where you sell something to? Like look up the house, like Google the house or whatever to see what? No,
I have done it a few times. If someone's being mean to me or something.
I'm talking about eBay. Someone's being mean.
So he's looked up our addresses.
Yeah. When someone's like they're giving me a hard time about something or something, my brother be like, well, you should look up their house and see like what they're doing. Like
see how
or someone will be still. I remember this one guy. It was in California, and he was saying he didn't get a game, and it showed delivered, and I remember looking up his house, and I mean I'm judging, but it looked like a house that would probably be like, I'm gonna buy a game and say I didn't get it.
Oh, that's what it looked like. The house.
That's the feeling I got from it. I'm sorry.
The house looked like they were gonna. Okay. No, I usually like if I sell something like weird, like I sold some silverware. It wasn't silver. It was regular forks, spoons, and all that. But I sold them like Hawaii, and they were a ridiculous price, like $90 for like a spoon and a fork. I'm like, who's buying it? Like, who's buying this? And then I had to look it up. And
who is buying that, Joe?
But it was like a $9 million house in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like that's
who's buying it.
That's who's buying it. So I do look up stuff like that. I don't look up.
And they're gonna probably look you up. You're like, who's selling this stuff?
Yeah.
The closest we have to that is like, so when we make labels, Sonia weighs it and measures it, gives me that information, then I enter it, and then then the labels print out to her and she puts it on the box. And so all she does is go every label that comes out. So first of all, when I read the name, I always butcher the names kind of on purpose, just for fun. Sorry, everybody out there that's shopping. I make up a name out of their name, and then she'll be like, Oklahoma. Sticker on Kansas City. So you guys, we should record that because it's hilarious. Like she just started doing that probably 3 weeks ago. She's just like Nebraska.
Yeah, you have to make shipping fun, right? I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the closest to looking up where it's going. Is Sonia tells me what city or state it's going to.
Yeah. I also look it up if someone tells me that they. Like I had this whole thing. I sold a car emblem to somebody like in Texas, and the guy said first he initially put a thing in that it was never received. So eBay sends me that message, and then I had to put the tracking number in that it was delivered, and then of course so I didn't hear anything, so I thought it was over. Then all of a sudden he sends me a message saying that he received the package but not the item. There was nothing in there, and I'm like. Okay, so I actually I went to the post office to see and it was only like a 4-ounce package or whatever, it was maybe like an 8-ounce package. He said it definitely, if there was a weight difference or whatever, that's when it probably would have been scanned different, or there would have been a note somewhere in there that it was off. Yeah. But there was no note in there or nothing saying that it, from the post office saying that it was. He was like, it was probably delivered. And of course, I look up it was delivered to literally like. It looked like a junkyard. Like it looked like, there was, 10 garages, from the, the Google image. It was just like that anybody could have picked it up and just opened it and,
I told you I did my Christmas shopping on your store. So.
Oh, sorry. you needed that Honda Civic car emblem, I guess. So.
No, that's a good idea. I never really thought to do that. I mean, I should have looked up. This is a long story. I got scammed that one time. Someone bought an Apple Watch from me. Those dang Apple Watches, and it went to them. They started a return right away. Like they got it. They started a return. It came back. It was coming back. It showed delivered to my house, but I didn't get it. I never got it back. And so like I had to do all. Sonya even had to help me investigate. Like where's it? Like, and so you start running out of time because eBay. It's a return. eBay is going to give that person their money back, right?
Yeah.
And so like
2 days or something.
it got to that point where I either have to make a decision now. Do I give them a partial refund because I never got it back? Because eBay's like we're gonna force the refund. We're gonna give them their money back. And so I finally made the decision, since I couldn't come to any conclusions, to just give them their 50% refund because I never got the item back. And the tracking showed delivered, and like the post office couldn't find it, and so I gave them their 50% refund, and I didn't give them a refund on the shipping. A couple days later, Sonia finally got an email from the post office showing just a picture of the return label. And the return label was to the Walmart in my neighborhood. So the person like altered the label to go and put the address of the Walmart in my neighborhood. So that package was scanned as delivered, but it went to the Walmart.
Yeah.
It didn't come to me. And so the watch never was returned. They kept the watch and they got their money back. And then when I called eBay and see if there was anything they could do, there's like, because ultimately I messed myself up by giving the partial refund, there was nothing they could do. But they had at that point, that account had now been removed for fraudulent activity.
Yeah,
Ah.
I've heard stories of that too. Like they'll send it to a business or whatever because they automatically accept it. You know what I mean? That it scans delivered or whatever.
Yeah.
But somehow they changed the address on it that it reflects the.
Can I explain how they did it? Like I feel like it was photoshopping and stuff, because the post office, once it gets to the area, they go by what it says on the label. That, you know, they don't go by what a scan or anything. They just go by what the label says.
Yeah.
So can I explain exactly how they scammed it? No, but it legit happened. Like I saw that label, and like,
I thought you were asking us
Walmart?
if you could explain. I'm like, sure, if you want to. Go ahead.
Everybody, this is how you steal on eBay.
I guess. I bought a this is a couple years ago now, I guess. I bought a Nintendo Switch off of Facebook Marketplace, and it was like shipping. And it's one of those when you see like a deal all the time when you're watching videos or something, someone's always like, people don't know what they have, so they're just selling whatever. So I saw a Nintendo Switch and it looked too good to be true. I like, oh, I just gonna buy this and hopefully it's true. Well, it was messed up. The guy, he shipped it out, but it like when I went to go track it, it literally like was, I don't remember where they were at, and I'm in Indiana, and it was going to like Connecticut or something. It was like it was tracking to Connecticut, and they were just say Florida. It was so weird, and it took a long time for me to get my money back from PayPal, like on Facebook Marketplace. And then all that did was ultimately, I think it messed up me selling on Facebook. I was selling on there, and then after that, it felt like I could never buy anything because I have issues with my account on there because of that, I think. And then I had every time I would list stuff, I would just never sell anything. So I was never selling anything on there, and I guess that's why. I mean, ultimately, I quit selling on Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like selling on Facebook is kind of like it's gone. Like when you used to answer the phone and say, "Hello, who is this?"
Yeah,
that's kind of how selling on Facebook is now.
It was good for a while. It was good for a while.
It was good for a while. I used to sell on there, but I haven't sold on there
a lot of people
forever.
I kind of said it from the very beginning when I tried it for a little bit, and what people were telling me was like, they just never offered the protections. They wanted to play.
You figure it out yourself.
They wanted to try to play with the big boys like Poshmark and eBay and do that, but they never offered any of the support that you need to offer. Like you have to offer it.
Well, I saw
that was the thing. It was like I bought like sports cards one time off of Facebook Marketplace, and literally, I forget how I ended up getting my money back. I guess through PayPal. I guess I bought something through PayPal or whatever, but I ended up but literally it was similar to Dan's. They sent the sports cards. It was probably like in 2021 when sports cards were high or whatever. I bought a couple of them, and literally it was coming from, just say, I don't know, somewhere in Connecticut. They shipped it to somewhere in Connecticut. So probably shipped that, just it shows that they shipped it to somewhere, but shipped it to their friend or something like that. You know, it never came. you know. So I think once they uploaded the tracking and it showed delivered, they didn't care where it was delivered to. They just showed that it was delivered. That was it. I couldn't get a hold of anybody.
We're teaching people how to scam.
This is all old news too. I don't even know. Like, I can't imagine. I don't ever mess with Facebook really, honestly, anymore. So this is it's all dated. It's all probably outdated information anyway. I should try to list something.
Remember when you used to be able to source on Facebook too? I can't even actually I had a really good Facebook buy this last weekend, but for the most part, great Facebook buy. But for the most part, the sourcing on there is the people that are on there are like us, they're resellers. There's hardly ever a good local deal with someone that's cheap.
Once in a while I found one. I can't even find that's where when you go garage selling, do you see the ads in Facebook, or how do you figure out where you're going to go for? Oh, you know what? I think I was going to guess because I feel like I heard you talk about this before. You're like a free rider. You're just driving around, right?
No, for sure. I actually, for small towns around me, it's Facebook Marketplace. I do a search for garage sales and then set the
just in Marketplace or
just in Marketplace. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, for the big cities around me, Cleveland and Columbus, do you have the GSLAR app?
No.
But that's better for big cities. Smaller towns aren't using it. It's GSLAR or something like that, and it does kind of like the old treasure map.
Okay.
And it's actually really good for big cities. It's better than the treasure map.
Like big cities like Cleveland, or big cities because you're 7,000 people in your town, so
no,
I'm big city to you.
Yeah, no, like really metro areas, like big metro, because we have some bigger cities around us, and it doesn't work good in there either. Like there's not a lot.
Yeah, Jimmy showed at the reseller rally that app or whatever, and it picks up. I don't know where it pulls it from, or if it just makes it up. But there's so many more on there than any other site. That's it.
I have a hard time. I'll my mom, my stepdad, they'll send me a screenshot if they're on Facebook if they see a sale, and I'll try to remember. I have a hard time finding them, and then I'm in different groups on Facebook that I'll look at, I'll see if they have a sale. But it's always been a hard time. Not that this is great information for the day. The November is going to start in Indiana, so they're not going to have a garage sale for 6
Facebook
months
Marketplace actually search garage sale, and then I do my area, and then I also for only the last 7 days. So I only see stuff that came out the last 7 days, and that's in my radius. And I find a lot of sales that way for sure.
All right, because I have to. We're going through cold winter months here now, but when we come out of this, I gotta get on these garage sales because thrifting yesterday was
there was a lot of pop up yard sales over this weekend. It was 80 degrees this weekend in Philly, and they were popping up everywhere. You could ride around, look for signs.
Try to get one last chime in, huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm not here. I could have went to the big cities, but again, the big cities, it's just so different. It's nice to be able to get to either one of those cities in an hour from where I'm at. So if there aren't a lot of sales in this area, I can go out there. But the sales are better in these small towns for sure. I've done way better in these small towns. Another thing, Dan, is the news. Do you have a county newspaper? I know it sounds ridiculous, but county newspaper? Or the newspaper that runs in your area, people still use that stuff.
Really?
I know.
I might have to look. I haven't got it. I used to deliver the newspaper. I used to give out the news.
Yeah, if you know anybody a family member or anybody that you know that gets it, it's worth it to check.
How much does the newspaper cost now?
I have no idea.
Where do you get them? Do they
the Daily News? The Daily News is $3 now. For the
go into the gas station and read it while you're there. Take a picture of the garage sales.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a magazine that they put out in Jersey down the shore.
That's a different kind of subject, though, Joe. We're not talking about that.
No, but they put out it's called the Shop.
Shoppy. Yeah, it is
called the Trifold. He's opening up that magazine.
It's called the Shop, huh, Joe?
Yeah, but I think it's Shoppy. SHOPP.
Well, that'd be a great name for a podcast. The Shop.
The Shop.
I'm sure there's one out there,
but like a barbershop, right?
But they list yard sales in there all the time. So. But yeah, Dan, you'll find them. I want to see next season Dan getting out there and doing these yard sale things.
Well, you're not gonna see a video of me doing it, but I have to. Like, I did find. I'm gonna show you these. I found these. I gotta take them out. These are cool.
Oh, they were new in the package. Now they're not.
No, I was
Dan's package.
They're like
Notre.
Are they Notre Dame?
They're Under Armour golf shorts, and they have Notre Dame. I got 3 pairs of these yesterday.
All brand new.
Brand new. Yeah,
Wow.
3 pairs.
And they're golf shorts.
Golf shorts. But like especially for being Notre Dame, they're gonna be anyone will wear them. They're gonna go to well, it's tough now that it's kind of cold, but there's Notre Dame fans everywhere.
There's Notre Dame fans everywhere, and don't forget it's peak golf season in Arizona, Florida, and all those.
I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
Vegas. They're just coming out of the hot weather, and they're out.
That's where everybody's going. That's where everybody's going.
So that's why I didn't pay attention. All these guys they're saying that they're doing the garage sale videos in Florida and stuff. They're saying it's just starting up and stuff, and I never thought so. That would be awesome to be up here all summer when it's still like 100 degrees, but then you go down to Florida.
Road trip. That'd
go
be
down
great.
to Florida for the winter, and you can
we're
the
3 best friends that anybody could have. No, so like when I lived in Arizona, every November, the weekend before Thanksgiving, when I lived in Colorado. I'm sorry, we would drive to Arizona to visit family, but it's also peak. Like there's community sales everywhere. Shout out to Matt, Phoenix Flipper. I'd go down there and he would let's go hit sales, and we would just spend all day Saturday hitting community sales. The second week of November, and it's just the weather's beautiful, and there's yard sales everywhere, and there's golfers everywhere.
Really?
Yep. And I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna try next year to make sure I find somewhere south of here. My brother lives in Georgia, so I might go to Georgia next fall as my southern location to go.
For like how long? Like this for the winter?
No, just for it's if it's a 9-hour drive, I'll drive down there one day and then I'll stay for 4 days and then I'll come back. Stay for a 4-day weekend.
You should go there. You should stay for like a full week. Like go drive down there on Wednesday, stay for the weekend to do garage sailing, stay that whole week, and then garage sale again, and then come home.
It's not a bad idea.
That's 2 weeks.
I just have to have Sonia can't go because she gotta watch the dog.
That's fine. That's fine. She can do that. That's a good idea. Well, that brings me. So you moved there in May to Ohio, and now that was like peak right when garage sales are starting,
yes.
And now you're coming into where they're gonna end. So do you have enough stuff to get through the winter, or what are you gonna do? Like
no, no, I don't. There's live auctions. There's a live auction that happens every Saturday by my house that I'm going to go to. Here's the thing about live auctions. You spend more, but you can get some really, 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 matter of fact, we went on Saturday. I wanted to show this. You ever hear the cartoon Silverhawks? Do you guys remember that cartoon Silverhawks?
No.
It was during the He-Man area. It wasn't nearly as popular, but it was my favorite cartoon as a kid. I just bought the whole collection at that auction of these
and
rare.
If we knew,
toys.
we would be impressed, but I have no idea.
Right. I paid $275 for the collection, but the collection is worth about $600. So if I decided to sell it, I could double my money. I'm not going to sell it. I'm keeping them. So with the auction, it's kind of like
to collect them.
Oh yeah, they're my favorite toys of all time. They're hard to find because they were kind of obscure. Like they weren't as mainstream as He-Man. Like you can find He-Man toys all the time. I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I've never. This is the only one up until then. Here's an example. This is the only one I've ever found in the wild. Was this one guy right here, and he's all beat up and tore up. That's one.
I think I remember looking at the
ever found.
He kind of looks like a crash test dummy.
Whole team. Now I have the whole team and the ship and everything.
Are you gonna put it up on the shelf?
Yeah, for sure. I literally just got it on Saturday. I went through. It even has all the little weapons and their wings and everything.
How many people were bidding on it with you?
So I let Sonia do the bidding because she wanted to have a little fun, and I was like, I gave her my number. My number was don't go over 400.
Oh.
Like
And
I
you got it for
wanted
200.
275.
Oh, I missed the 75.
Is
There's
there
a guy there.
Is there buyer's premium and all that? Like
No, there's just tax. I
Tax,
need to fill out my exam
Yeah.
stuff with them, exempt stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it was just 275 plus tax. There was originally 4 people bidding at like the 150 mark. It was just Sonia and my nemesis over there. This guy, we know each other, and we both are we're both toy guys, and he's a spender. He bid Sonia up to 275 for sure. I think I know if he hadn't been there, we would have got it less than 200, and that's fine.
What did it start off at? What does the price start off at?
$2. They start off at $2.
Okay.
But someone instantly said 20. Like, give me two. Someone said 20. So 20, and he went. And then once he got over 100, he started going by 25, like 125, 150, 175. And so it was at the end, it was just Sonya and this one other guy going back and forth. And again, I was willing to go for 400. I knew it was worth around $600 plus. So I wanted it. I didn't care. So I told her to go to 400 if you have to.
How did you find a live auction?
Just by Facebook. I think Sonia found it. Sonia found it. It's literally 12 minutes from my house.
No,
it's in a town called Nevada. It's spelled like Nevada. It's the Bullpen Auction in Nevada, Ohio. It's a lot of fun. If nothing else, it's so much fun. And I've made some. You just have to be. It's almost like I call it like leveling up. Like you have to be prepared to spend some money. Like you're not gonna walk it. Now you might find a box lot that has some gems in it, like I did. I bought a box lot for $2 that had a $60 bumper sticker in there. That so that kind of stuff can happen. Yeah. But like you can buy boxes of stuff that nobody wants to bid on. Like he'll start with one box, give me two, nobody bids. So then he adds another box, give me 2 for both, give me two, give me 2 for both boxes, nobody bids. And then so the one I bought ended up 3 boxes that I got for $2. And I probably, the one bumper sticker I sold for $60. And there was probably some other little miscellaneous things in there that were $10, $12, $15 items. So I made a lot of money on that. But if it's a good item, you're going to spend up. You're going to pay close to half of what it's worth. So you can still make money though. Like you can still, if you have the money, you can still buy. Like again, I paid $275 for this. If I sold each figure and parted it out, I'd make over $600 on it.
Really?
So there's money there. It's just kind of like, do I really want to spend that much money on inventory, right? So that's an option. They're opening up bins 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna go there a lot. We're gonna go there a lot.
Goodwill bins?
Goodwill bins, 20 minutes from my house, which surprised me. I was like, holy smokes, they're opening up bins. And so we're gonna go there a lot. And then we're gonna go to estate sales. We're gonna look for estate sales. We haven't had to go to estate sales yet because the yard sales have been good, but we're gonna look. Man, I feel like I just rambled on forever right there, but
no, it's good. Well, that's all. So you're good. I was kind of thinking you're gonna be in the same boat as me. Like you didn't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, right now with Sonia and I both being full time, we have to figure something out. Like we have to. We can't stop. Like we have to pay our mortgage and all that, so we have to figure it out. So.
Well, we also have to figure out a name for our podcast. We're on iHeart Radio again. We're on Samsung. We're on Spotify. We've applied to Apple and Google under the name. Should we say it? You can say it?
Yeah, go ahead. Maybe people can tell us what they think of the name if we should keep it.
Well, it's too late. We've asked them. We didn't even go. We're an hour and 30 minutes into this episode.
Yeah, nobody's watching anymore.
We already discussed because everyone was giving us tips last week. But if you look on the audio version, we're under Pocket Change. Was the name?
I like it.
Pocket Change? Question mark or pocket? No.
Pocket Change. Pocket Change. Pocket Change. Well, on those sites, we're under Pocket Change Reselling Podcast. So right. You can a little bit easier to find us if you look for us on the audio.
I think it's impossible, like you said, to find a channel that someone doesn't already have the name.
Yeah, we're never gonna be.
Yeah.
No.
I do want to bring up that we did. So we had. I don't want to say the other name that we had thought about that I actually paid someone to make us a logo and everything for. Because I reserve the right to use that for a different podcast if I ever want to do. another podcast. Since I own the right to it. But the guy last week episode, we should have talked about this like way before. But last week we were talking about like the feedback thing, about how I bought a puzzle from someone and I gave them a 4-star rating and they literally gave me nothing. That like they didn't give me what they said they're giving me. And today I finally questioned this guy. So I paid someone on October 19th on Fiverr to make us a logo. It was a 4-day gig, as they call it on Fiverr, I think. I don't know if they still call it that, but that's what I'm calling it. I paid for 4 days, and the guy told me that they're going to give me the logo in black and white, and then he'll go for, after I approve that, then they'll color it in. So I said, oh, that's a good idea. So he doesn't have to do all the work if you have to make changes. So after those few days, he sends me a black and white. I approve it, and then he's like, okay. And then on there, he like somehow restarted the 4 days. So he gets like another 4 days or something. And now it's October 31st. I still don't even have a logo. And I paid for it on October 19th and it was supposed to be 4 days. And I still don't have it. And it's already completed in Fiverr. So I finally asked him today, like, am I actually going to get this? But my thing is what kind of rating would you give the guy when he gives me my thing? What am I supposed to give?
I would be honest. I would, if you can leave a review, I would be honest. Like,
I really like the design.
I just like an extra 4 days to color. Like, what?
Yeah, like it, and it's like they check this out.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't. It sounds shady to me. I don't like that kind of business, but that's just me. I don't think that. I mean, unless
is that part of the thing where he's able to start over on those 4 days? Like,
I have no idea. I don't really know.
I don't know how it works. But if somebody says
never
that,
had
it's going to be a 4-day gig, as Dan's calling it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
I would expect to have something back in 4 days.
Right.
Complete it, unless you put some change order in or something like that. But I would expect to have.
In that term, if you're going to do business like that, you should have said, "Look, I'm going to charge you 4 days for a rough draft, and then after I give you I'm going to charge you 4 days for the outline, and then after you approve the outline, I'm going to charge you another 4 days to color it in." It should have been worded that way. If you're doing it that way and you're not wording it that way, then I think that's shady, in my opinion. I mean, were you under the impression after 4 days you were going to have a logo? And is that the way he approached?
I assumed I was under the impression I was going to buy it, he was going to do the mock-up of it, send it to me, and then he's going to color it in, and then I'd have it all done and finished in 4 days. And then I was like, okay, give him the benefit of the doubt of like the weekend because I ordered it on Thursday night and it was so like, okay, so he didn't get it till Friday. So then Friday to Monday is like 1 day. Like and then Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday. So I figured last Thursday I would have got it, but now it's today's Tuesday. I still don't have it. And I just looked, he responded that I'll send it today. And he goes, check this out. And it was like it's a zip. And I clicked on it and it says there's no preview available. And then while I'm talking to you, I hit download and open. So now I'm pretty sure he gave me a virus on my phone. So I'm scared. So,
oh my gosh.
It's an Apple. It's an Apple phone.
So you can look for us on audio version. This will be on my channel again. Maybe if we figure out our name, I made the logo, so you can judge it on there. The pocket change on the audio side is my thing. Is what I made. So that's it.
Hey.
I mean,
yeah, that's a tough one. I would, as far as the Fiverr guy, I don't know. That's I guess this is pocket change.